Good early afternoon, everyone. We're here at Port and Princesa at the harbor. Beautiful day. It's going to rain real soon, so we're going to make a video as fast as we can. And today, we're going to be talking about how to properly date here in the Philippines. This video might ruffle a few feathers. I don't really care because it's important. Very, very important. Whoop. Gotta put a hat on, make sure you're gonna stay alive. Today, really hot out of nowhere. Nice and windy, perfect. So today we're gonna be talking about how to date here in the Philippines. And obviously this is a very broad topic. So we're just gonna keep it very optimistical. And we're gonna get into some things, a lot of the problems too that happen here. If you're not using your head, if you're using the head down there, you're gonna get into a lot of trouble because, boy, you're coming to a new country and it's exciting. It's like, blow your mind away when you get here. You're just infused with the beauty, the water. Here's that beautiful big boat. Who knows where that boat's going? The nature, the people, and of course, the women, right? So the women here are island girls, and they're exotically beautiful. And for you to meet them is going to be quite an eye-opener. You're going to be floored by the attention that you're going to get here when you live here in the Philippines, when you come visit. And it's night and day compared to what you're used to. Now, I'm just going to give Canada, the place where I come from, as the example. And I'm sure a lot of the Western cities and the Western countries, they kind of all operate the same way. So just use me as a reference and just juxtapose it to where you come from so we can all kind of get on the same page here. So let's face it, if you're not a total player who is using psychology tricks, manipulating women, and playing a particular role, like the bad boy role in your country, you're not going to really get anywhere as far as dating, okay? Because nice guys do not succeed in dating in Western world. The nice guy is completely rejected from society, and especially from women, and it's not their fault. It's because of how society has kind of molded in the way and how we participate in the world as men. A lot of guys feel like being the nice guy, being kind, being shy, being generous is gonna get you the girl, and it's so far from the truth. The women, they get an influx of these type of guys in their life. So they're so easy to fling out, okay? So that's just the way it is. I've been there. So many other friends have been there as well. And but for some reason, a lot of guys have been stuck there for a very long time and they can't figure it out. They're like, how come I'm good looking, I dress well, I got money. Why is it that I can't get a woman in my life to love, or a woman to love me? When you finally come here to the Philippines as that nice guy, and you're just a very spiritual kind of guy, nice, you dress well, you smile, and you haven't changed in your Western world. Well, guess what? That starts to work here for you. Okay? So all of a sudden, you're the same guy who hasn't had any women in your life back from your Western world. But then you come here without making a single change about yourself. And then voila, there it is. This undefining attention. that it's like a beautiful cocktail with like even the scenery and the landscape, your surroundings, and now you have not just one, but a lot of women who are looking at you, and they like that you're a nice guy, that you look good, you smile a lot, and you're just like this guy who's, you know, you're just a good guy, okay? So here's where the illusion gets kind of crazy, because you're going to say to yourself, wow, look at me, right? I got money, right? And I come to this country and I'm getting all this undivided attention now. What's going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. And that is that the Philippines is in a different hierarchy as far as GDP and money and the country itself and how it's operated. You are coming from a much more dominant country financially. Now, when you come here to the Philippines, you're going to be viewed as a utility. Yes, a utility. And that doesn't mean like, you know, we're talking about like guys who have millions of dollars and they come here. That doesn't matter. If you come here with $1,000, you're still considered this. You have to understand that women here, I'm not saying all, a good handful, are seasoned professionals. Now, it's not to deteriorate the women here at all. I'll tell you why, because that's the society. Women here are looking for a way out. And you can't blame them for that, because that's a society that we are here in the Philippines, okay? For a woman to meet a man and get money from him, what it's doing is it's allowing her to go back to her family and put food on the table. Yeah, it's survival. And you cannot blame them, ever, okay? They're innocent. If they were in a different like economic zone, like Canada, for instance, where they have money and they have everything they need, but they want more, right? And you're going out with a woman in Canada, again, reference your own country, but she wants more money. She's stomping her little feet. I want this and want that. Man, that is the worst person you can possibly be with, okay? At least here in the Philippines, there's a good reason why the women are going to be like that with you. Now we got over that part of the video. Let's talk about something that we as men need to figure out. What you'll notice when you press the pause button, okay, pause button, is that you're going to get a new pair of eyes. Now, what is this button? This button means stop what you have been doing that hasn't worked in your old country. Don't come back here and be like, okay, you know, like this is how I operate in my country, now I'm gonna go operate here. No. You're doing it wrong. Here, you have to operate completely differently. Totally different. The reason why that is because men from the other countries are so deprived of love, attention, and sex, is that they come over here and they are horny, okay, horny. And the first woman who gives this man attention, all of a sudden he's in love. All of a sudden he's buying her things. All of a sudden he's feeding her breakfast, lunch, dinner. All of a sudden her nails are getting done. All of a sudden she's getting money, okay? He parades her around like a trophy, okay? He thinks he just won the lottery. And what this actually is an extreme form of toxic behavior, because this behavior is what they brought back from their own country, and they brought it here. The women here can see that. They can see a nice guy who's had a lot of problems in his life in his own country and use his emotions against him, okay? Because she needs to survive, okay? So what the moral of the story here is that you have to put something in your head because you're gonna feel special here, okay? And what you need to put in your head is you are not special. No, you're not. You're being taken advantage of. There's a big difference. Big, big difference. Now, the reason why I'm kind of making this like kind of a big topic is because that's all you see here. When I pressed the pause button, I mean, I didn't just pause, just like sat passively around waiting for things to happen for me. No, 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 no. I pressed the pause button on how I was conducting myself back in my Canadian culture, which that totally did not work. And I started to be an observer of the men that were coming here. And what did I see? Every guy that came here, almost 99% of the men that came here, who have failed marriages, failed girlfriends, failed everything, fall into the exact same trap. They think they're special. They're paying everything for a woman, and they're walking around like, haha, look at me. Look at the girl I'm dating. But meanwhile, remember, they haven't dated in the last 5 years in their country, or they've had like really bad experiences. So the message of the story is that you have to kind of like place yourself in the 1% zone. Okay, now what is this 1% zone? Let me tell you what it is, because I'm there completely. And it's gonna be the greatest place for you to be in. And what it is that you're finally going to be a man in this world, okay? Now, I know that's like a big, broad stroke, okay? Big, broad stroke. But what does it truly mean to be a man? Well, it has a lot to do with self-reflection and finally blaming yourself for the reason why things didn't work for you in your life to begin with. That's a big start to being a man. Now, the reason why I say that is because every guy, 99%, friends of mine, people associated with friends, if there's a girl in the picture, they're like, oh, hey man, what happened to that girl? And like, oh, you know, she was a flake. Oh yeah, you know, that girl was a bitch. Oh yeah, you know, like this girl did this and this girl did that. You know what I start to realize is that not one time these men ever said to themselves in the mirror or to me or to anyone in the world, he's like, you know what? I'm not that good at dating. Maybe my actions of how I date with women are inappropriate. Maybe I need to make some changes, right? And this is a part about being a man, is that you have to finally self-identify with yourself. And the reason why this is so important is because the greatest relationship of them all is going to be with yourself, with you. You're with yourself 24 hours a day. You sleep with yourself, you wake up with yourself, you eat with yourself, okay? You need to have a relationship with yourself finally and treat it as a relationship, as if there's just two people. Oh, man. Well, what happens is a lot of guys are so lonely that they feel instead of manning up and figuring out their crap about themselves and stop blaming women for their problems and also blaming other guys. That's happened to me where a guy's marriage completely failed, but because I was around, somehow he twisted it that it was my fault. And it was crazy what happened. And this is brutal. Like this blew me away when this happened to me, you know? And I'm not playing the victim, whatever, but I'm just saying that it's so profound of the amount of men who cannot justify the reasons why things are not working out for them in their life. And time is so short, it's ridiculous, okay? So this is why we're talking about that. One of the biggest blind spots that we all never saw. We just never saw it coming. And almost everyone doesn't know about this blind spot. They know it, but they don't. When you've been a certain type of person all your life, what it meant is that you identified with that person, okay? You framed yourself to be this character. If your character is that I never had a woman, no one loved me, I feel ugly, I'm bald, I'm short, I'm not good enough, okay? Nothing ever works out for me in the world. If you're in this negative mindset, it's because you somehow persuade yourself that that's who you are, that that's your character. And unfortunately, your character reflects in the world. When you walk down the street, your character is not hidden. It's there in plain sight. You do not have to talk to anyone to understand their character, ever. Okay, so a part of being a man is finally saying to yourself, man, you're just telling yourself, you're just angry with yourself. And you're blaming everything about your situation, from your looks, your height, to you're not popular, to everything. And it's a reverse of what you should be doing. What you should be doing is going, wait a minute, am I really that ugly, right? Go back in time, think about a time when someone really loved you, even if you were a kid. Someone who looked at you and said, I really like this person. You need to prove to yourself you're wrong. You have to go back in time and go, no, that's not true. You have to kind of like peel the layers with yourself. This is not true about me. That's not true, okay? Some things are true, right? This nice guy syndrome. Do I have nice guy syndrome? And that's why women are repelled to see me, because I'm like everyone else who's happy and nice and I'll pay for everything? Yeah, that's an easy blind spot to detect. That one's so easy to change. And that one, again, is just pressing the button and just stop what you're doing. Stop paying for things, man. You're working from your feminine energy, okay? Because she knows you're being feminine. That's exactly what it is. She's not with a masculine guy, okay? Let's just say that. Even if you look masculine, you're a tough guy and you can beat everyone up. Okay, so I want to go into something else just a little deeper for you guys, okay? Just something a little deeper. When we're talking about character and who you said that you were, plays a lot on both sides of the aisle. So what do I mean by that? Okay, if let's say you're on Instagram or some other platform and you're getting dating advice, and a lot of the dating advice videos that you're gonna get, it's all like manipulation tactics, how to be a bad boy, put a woman down, okay? Things like this. The problem is that when you frame yourself as the bad boy, that facade you have to keep the entire time. So if you break your character in front of a woman, that's when you lose. Doesn't matter if you're a bad boy. Doesn't matter if you're a nice guy. So if you're a nice guy and everything's smiling, hunky-dory, and everything's really good all the time, but then all of a sudden you became angry and then you were bad, okay? That's breaking your character. It's called breaking rapport. She's gonna go, wait a minute, I was dating a nice guy, now he's all angry. I've never seen the side of him. Oh yeah, same with a bad boy, strong guy, right? All of a sudden he's strong, he's bossing her around and she loves it. Women love these type of guys. Who cares? There's a lot of different things that you can do to be on a better level. I'll tell you what that is in a second. And then all of a sudden, the big guy starts to cry. He starts to break down because he's in a relationship and he's basically like whipping her. I mean, sorry, she's whipping him. No sexual thing there. Okay, so, the big guy breaks down in front of her and it's killing the whole thing, okay? So you can't really win with trying to mold yourself to be something that you're not. Very, very important, okay? The idea here is to be yourself, okay? Remember you heard this before? When we were younger, hey, you're dating a girl or whatever, you ask your parents for advice, ask your friends for advice, what do they always tell you? We all know what this is. They always say, well, you know, Richard, just be yourself. And you're always like, but I am myself. It doesn't work. My whole life doesn't work. A relationship doesn't work. I am being myself. And you have no explanation. Okay, it's so true what they were saying, but they forgot something. It's called be your authentic self. Okay, authentic self. If you guys were wondering why I have good success rate with women, it's because I'm authentically myself, which is I'm goofy, I'm funny and stupid. I don't care if the relationship is going to be good or bad. I'm not here to chase her. I'm just being myself, and I think I'm funny. I think I'm just hilarious, and I don't give a shit. Okay, so that's what attracts them, because they're finally going, wait a minute, this guy is authentically just being himself. Exactly, because I can't break that character. That is authentically who I am. When they say just be yourself, who authentically is yourself? Because if that's who you're comfortable with, then you can never break character. You imagine me being a tough guy, like, you know, like, look at me, I'm gonna, you know, use these tactics online to get the girl, or I'm gonna say, I can't, because it goes against the flow. And the women, they already know this. They already know I'm a joker. They already know this guy's faking it. He's fake. That's why the pickup tutorials don't work. The only thing that works is being a man finally for the first time in your life. That's the only thing that works. Now, I'm also a nice guy, okay? Just like you, whoever's watching. The thing is I finally got a backbone, because that's something that I figured out right away. I'm like, man, I'm a pushover. When I was younger, my 30s, even 40s, early 40s, I was kind of like, these women are testing me like big time. And I get it now. I'm starting to get it. Okay, so what it all came down to is that I actually have no time to deal with people who don't respect my time and don't authentically like me. So I don't care if the girl is like a 10 or 11, she's super hot, I'll walk away from her, no problem. I'll just get on my bike and just leave. I'll never look back either. So you're gonna have to get to the point in your life where you're like, I'm the prize, I am, okay? And it's not your job to chase women. It's not. It's completely reversed. If you chase women, you're working from your feminine energy, okay? Women are the only people in the relationship that gets to choose who they date. When you're a man, the only thing that you have is to attract a girl so she likes you, okay? That's the only thing. You're not gonna go, oh, if you start chasing a woman and she doesn't like you, which most likely that's what's happening, because she's the one that chooses, but she catches on that you're like a nice guy who buys her things, boy, you're in a lot of trouble, man. It's your fault. It's your fault, by the way. It's not the girl's fault. You see how this works? It's all about you. This whole video, I never put the blame on any woman. I put the blame on like society, how we were brought up and how we were taught to like conduct ourselves in the world. I talk about the financial problems, but more importantly, we're talking about us as men and the things that we finally need to break. Stop blaming everyone. Figure out your stuff. What is it about you that's not working, and fix it as soon as possible, guys. You know, I love you. I love you, and that's why I keep on saying it. You need to finally be free. Be free, my friend. Be in love. Have a relationship with yourself. Women are gonna love your authentic self. What is it about you? Figure it out, man. I know it's there. It's tucked in there. What is it authentic about me that I really love, that I feel comfortable with? Then I can express that part about me for the rest of my life. Okay, okay, so, all right. So we've gone through some stuff, okay? So let's figure out then, how do we date in the Philippines? How do we do it? My Lord, guys, it's so easy. So easy. Rule number one, the way that you are back in your country, leave it there. Do not come with your game, your toxic behaviors, manipulation, psychology, pickup lines. You're wasting your time. You are. Because in the end, and just in general, all that will be tossed aside when you finally become a man. Women are only searching for men. And what that means is that a girl is going to finally meet a guy who puts his foot down first for himself. And that means, I don't know you. I'm not going to meet your family. I haven't even dated you, right? Girls are going to want to invite you to their family. It's no. Let's talk about this. There's two sides of the coin here, and both parties are confused. And here's the first party that's completely confused. It's us. When we come here, if you're not aware that family ties here are extremely strong. Everyone in these families, they support each other 100% with everything, with money, with food, with love, with shelter, with clothing. You'll find a house here and the whole family's there, okay? And when we, Western men, or wherever you come from, when you meet a Filipino woman, it's in her culture, and it's not her fault, that she is going to ask you to come see the family. Now, for us as men, we have a very hard time with this. And a lot of guys are like, you know what, let me try that out. It's very scary for us because we just want to meet you and we just want to be with you. And when the family gets injected into the scene too quickly, we can run off scared. And if guys fall for that, where you meet a woman and then all of a sudden you're with the family, I mean, within a day or two, sometimes that quick, they want to get you to the family as fast as possible. That is a trap, and it's a curse, and it could be the other way around. It really depends on the family. Right, okay. So I've had two experiences. One, where I met a girl through her dad. And then when I met the father first, he was this really cool guy, and I even liked him. I was like, man, this guy's rocking, right? And he's got his own business, he's doing his own thing. And then his daughter appeared, and I was like, wow, she was a knockout. And he was just kind of looking at me like, yeah, you can totally date her, I didn't do that in the end. But then there are other times when you meet a woman, and I fell for this trap. I met her and I said, hey, do you mind if I take you out? Just you and me, because I want to put my foot down. Let her know, I just want to date you, okay? She's like, yeah, no problem. So I went to go pick her up, and then she was like, hey, this is my cousin, and then this is my brother. And then they all came out, and like 9 people came out, and then they kind of like forced me inside the house, and I was surrounded by 30 people that I don't even know, and they sat me at a table, and basically it was just so scary for me. The first time it's ever happened to me. The girl's sitting there acting all pretty and shy, and the family is really digging in, asking a lot of questions. Not only that, they were asking me for money to buy cigarettes, and the uncle was like, hey, do you think you can buy us liquor? And all this sort of thing, right? And I didn't last, not even 10 minutes. I basically just got up and I looked at her, I'm like, I'm sorry, and I left. I like bolted out of that place so fast, got on my bike and just rode off. And it sucks. It really sucks, because for the women, this is normal practice, okay? So, and for the guys, it's not. So there's, a little tight spot there. It's kind of like a crunch zone. So to emphasize it even more, yes, you will meet the family when you meet the right girl. So it's really, really important that us as men, we have to really, really put our foot down. I'm gonna date you, I'm not gonna date the family right now, okay? And you don't wanna put yourself there without knowing her, because you're gonna know a girl here, you know, really quickly. And if she's a really cool chick, she's totally gonna understand. She's gonna be like, oh yeah, totally. Like, yeah, let's just you and I, let's date, right? Let's get to know each other like that. So the big trap, guys, and it's unfortunate, you know, for the Filipino people to hear that, but we as men are not used to this. We're just not. All we're used to is meeting a nice girl and spending alone time with her, taking her out, we'll go on a beach, go on a vacation, you know, really like fall in love with this woman, right? And have her fall in love with you and see where it goes. But if it happens too quick, guys, out, okay, out the door. Now, the other thing that you guys are gonna wanna do is take her out for dinner, and it's completely fine. Take her out for dinner, man, but do it just one time. Why only once? Because you need to assess yourself with her. It's not about her assessing yourself with you, okay? You're not giving her an opportunity to be with you because you wanna be with her. This is an interview like no other because it can decide how your life is gonna play out, which is 99% of the guys completely fail this one test. It's the first dinner date test. Okay, so you need to put your foot down with women here in the Philippines right away, because what they're looking for is the sucker, that nice guy who does things for people, who is kind and generous, okay? Again, not to their fault, but they're looking for it, okay? So then you might be thinking, okay, well then, like, what's the alternative then? If I'm not doing things for her, if I'm not buying her things, then what do I have to offer? Biggest question of them all. First of all, let's all know that every woman in the world has one or two guys in their life that they love, okay, maybe secretly, that do not pay for anything, that doesn't try to impress her, that doesn't chase her, doesn't beg for her attention, and she loves that guy. What you're giving her is an opportunity to finally be with a man, okay? Because a man is going to put his foot down. Only guys who haven't manned up finally with themselves are gonna put themselves in a position where they're gonna pay for everything. And it's brutal, guys. You do not want to go down this road. Has nothing to do about the woman. Has everything to do about you, about us, about the guys. You're finally not going to do the things that you're not going to do. There's a lot at stake here for everyone because the time is so short. You really need to put yourself first and become the prize, because that is a prize for a woman. It's a surprise for a woman that there's this guy here who's completely just like cool, interactive, doesn't play any games with me, doesn't buy anything for me unless maybe he buys something, right? Let's say if I need an ice cream, then I'll go and buy an ice cream and I'll look at her, I'm like, hey, you want one? That's it. Something very, very small. If you don't know how to lead a woman, this is one of the first things that you need to finally tell yourself, because stop blaming everyone. Stop blaming your family, your friends, your girlfriend, whatever. Say to yourself in the mirror, like, you gotta be realistic, guys. Why is it that I can't lead a woman? How come women don't follow me around? Big one, big one. It's about manning up, man. You gotta figure that stuff out. And the next one is really big. You don't give two anymore. You don't care. You don't care about where the relationship is going. You don't chase her, ever. Don't question her. Don't ask her where she was the night before. If she has a hissy fit and she gets angry at you, ignore her. You are not going to be reactive to relationships or with women anymore. And you know why? Because that's what it is. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for a non-reactive male, and they're gonna test you. They're gonna test you to see if you act like a little or not. Anywho, guys, this video should show you some of the things that you need to come to terms with. And when you come to the Philippines, this is the time to press the pause button. I would take 6 months off. Now, I don't mean like, don't date. No. I mean, date. Yeah. Learn through dating. Finally date a girl and walk around. Make sure you leave. Make sure she's behind you. Make sure you're going, hey, we're going to that restaurant. Hey, we're going here. You do the talking. You're the leader in the relationship. If you're not in that dynamic, this is something that you need to fix. There's a lot to talk about here, but I gave you the crux of it here in the Philippines, and that has to deal with the economy. And when you come here, not to bring your stuff back with you, but to change things about you, to finally define yourself as a man in the world, in your own world. Not to anyone else, by the way, but to you. You need to feed you, man. You gotta feed your mind, body, and soul. You gotta finally wake up in the morning and feel great, right, about yourself. We're almost coming to the end of the video, guys, but let's go over some things so we can get optimistic about everything. 95% of the women here, okay, we're talking about a handful of women who might be looking for like economic opportunity. 95% of them are the sweetest, most feminine, most adorable women that you will find here in the Philippines. Remember that. And it's really going to be up to you. Put my mic down a little bit here. There we go. It's really going to be up to you when you decide just to man up just a little bit and go for women that truly like you. Forget about like what you want and what you like, because in the end, you're going to want a woman who truly, truly just likes you, right? And if you're doing the chasing, you might get in some trouble, as we spoke about before, okay? So, but just remember, here in the Philippines, there are so many beautiful women, and you might be dating the wrong girl, and you're going to be missing out on the opportunities to finally be with a really great woman, okay? So the world's your oyster here. It's up to you what you really want to do. Okay, other things. If you're just coming here to travel and you're not going to stay in the Philippines, have fun, man. Go. Do your thing. Make like a tree. Have fun. Do it, okay? This video is really for men who kind of want to like leave their country and live abroad, okay? And just not, you know, for them not to get into trouble. Basically, the video is about, you know, it's for men who are coming to the Philippines, okay? It's not about it's not about the men who are already in the Philippines. So let's talk about that, okay? Now, to the guys who are watching these videos who are married to a beautiful Filipina woman, and you got your life together and you're happy, maybe you got a car or a house, you got boats, you got friends, you've been here for a long time, congratulations, man, because that's why we all came here. We came to change our lives. So if you figure that out and you're living an extraordinary life here in the Philippines, that's amazing. I just want to make sure that you guys know that this video is not to hurt anybody, okay? Because it's just really about the guys, right? And what the things that they need to change. So when you come here, man, you got a really big opportunity to do a lot of cool things in your life, okay? One last thing. Okay, here we go. This one is kind of like out of the blue, but I see a lot of men, and it's completely fine, okay? They're very MG toe. You know what MG toe means? It means men going their own way. You'll see a lot of guys who are like, I'm done dating, I'm done with women, I'm completely happy. I don't need anything anymore, okay? So they're happy to be alone, and that's really cool. However, life is about the cherries, okay? It's about connection. It's about meeting women. It's about dating. It's your opposite sex. So if you're denying yourself from that, you're kind of missing out on, you know, a good life, because really what it was just for you to make some microscopic changes about yourself so that you don't get screwed over. Okay, so a lot of guys who went MG toe, they went their own way. They couldn't handle that type of life. Okay, so it's just easier to be alone, right? So unfortunately, my message for that is don't do that. Be on your own, completely fine, like I am. I'm on my own. I'm dating beautiful women, beautiful, gorgeous. None of them have hiccups, okay? None of them. Almost every girl that I dated, they were kind, generous, beautiful, feminine. They never played a game with me because I put my authenticity on the line. And they know not to cross it, and I'm not gonna cross them either. So it didn't matter if I got a relationship with these women because I made friends, okay? Some of them were sexual. It doesn't matter, right? Because in the end, it was just about the experiences, okay? It was about meeting people and having fun and doing that too. So if you're MG toe, that's cool, but listen up. If anybody who's watching this video and you got something out of this, okay? I am offering a one-on-one consulting service for the men who need maybe some man-to-man time, okay? From dad bod, okay? Just to have a consultation with me is completely fine. And then that way I can assess, maybe some of the things that you're going through and give you like a good evaluation. And also for me to see if it works, if that type of consulting works for me, with you, right? It has to be, both ways, right? It has to be both ways. So I'm gonna leave my email in the description, okay? You guys just send me an email if you want, and we'll see what we can do. Because in the end, guys, it's not about the big changes. It's not about changing this whole scope of you that didn't work. It's actually all about micro changes, very, very small ones, okay? And that's where I think a lot of guys feel like it's too much to make kind of these big drastic changes, but really they're just all very microscopic, little adjustments, just to kind of align your body again, your soul, your heart, your mind, and who you are, okay? Who authentically you are, right? So anyways, guys, with that, hope you really enjoyed the video. I really liked making this video for you guys. I had a lot of fun, and yeah, well, that's it. So I'm gonna leave. Again, I'm in beautiful Puerto Princesa. That boat left, okay? It's gone. Who knows where that boat went, but there's that beautiful mountain, that scenery every day here, guys. Incredible. All right, you have yourself a lovely day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.